Red Riding Hood, a story about bravery. In a quiet village along a cobblestone path lined with ivy stood a cottage. It was a happy home with a bright flower garden. Well, really, they just have flowers everywhere. And an even brighter young girl who lived there with her mother. The girl's name was Red Riding Hood. She was called Red Riding Hood because of the hooded sweater her grandmother had knit for her. "You are so cheerful, my darling granddaughter," the old woman would say. "This cozy sweater matches the brightness of your heart." Let me make it so there's no glare. There we go. Red Riding Hood's grandmother would come every morning to help the young girl tend her mother's flower garden. "Grandma, one day I want to have my own flower shop so I can sell daisies because they're your favorite flowers," Red Riding Hood would say. Her grandmother would always smile, "And I'm sure one day you will." Then one morning, something odd happened. Red Riding Hood's grandmother didn't come. "Sweetheart, Grandma is ill," said Red Riding Hood's mother. "She won't be able to visit today." "Maybe a bouquet of her favorite daisies will help her feel better," Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "That's a wonderful idea," her mother said. "I'll send you with some soup and bread as well. But you must promise to be careful on your way to Grandma's cottage. There are wolves in the woods. "I promise," said Red Riding Hood. And they're like, "Bye, bye." Soon the young girl was skipping along the wooded path, holding a woven basket filled with goodies. No one could mistake her cheerful red sweater as she went, especially not the pair of wily eyes that spotted her through the trees. "That child is the perfect plump morsel to fill my stomach," thought the big bad wolf as he hungrily eyed Red Riding Hood. He rustled through the bushes, ready to pounce. "Who's there?" Red Riding Hood called when she heard the noise. She remembered her mother's warning and grabbed a large stick to hold high. This one has spunk," the wolf thought. "How much easier would it be to gobble her up if she were caught off guard? I'll bet she's taking that basket to the old woman in the cottage beyond the river. But I shall get there first." There we go. Quick as the wind, the wolf raced through the forest. Within moments, he was at Grandmother's door. "Who's there?" Grandmother asked when he knocked. "It's Red Riding Hood," the wolf called in a voice as gentle as the child's. Well, that wasn't really gentle. "It's Red Riding Hood." "My darling girl," Grandmother replied. "Come in. The door is unlocked." When the old woman saw the ghastly wolf instead of her granddaughter, she fainted from shock. Fainting means that it's almost like you fall asleep, but you're not asleep. You just your body kind of goes to sleep, sort of. And it's because she was shocked. Quickly, the wolf hid her in a cupboard and put on her spare nightgown. Then he closed the window curtains, climbed into bed, and pulled the sheets right up to his chin. Soon Red Riding Hood came skipping up to the door. "Grandma, it's me," she called. "Come in," the wolf rasped. "Oh, dear," Red Riding Hood thought. Her grandmother's voice sounded strange. She must be very ill. But when she entered the cottage, things only got stranger. The light was unusually dim, and her grandmother had the sheets pulled up to her chin. "Grandma?" Red Riding Hood asked hesitantly. "Do you think she's suspicious?" "I think she is. I think she thinks something is not right here." And she's right. "Come closer," the wolf whispered. Red Riding Hood inched closer. "Grandma, you look different," she said. "What big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," replied the wolf. "If only you would come closer." Red Riding Hood took another step. But Grandma, what big hands you have. The better to hug you with. Oh, the better to hug you with, whispered the wolf. He couldn't help grinning. Soon the child would be within reach, and soon after, in his belly. As he grinned, the wolf's teeth flashed, and Red Riding Hood gasped. "Oh, what big teeth he has," she thought, for by now she could tell that this was not her grandmother at all, but a wolf like her mother had warned her about. She had to think fast or she would be eaten. "Oh, no, I completely forgot," Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "I didn't bring your favorite flowers." "Don't be silly, child," said the wolf. "Come, give your grandmother a hug." "No, no," insisted Red Riding Hood. "Without your favorite flowers, you won't feel better. You remember which ones they are, right?" Now the wolf paused. He didn't have the faintest idea which flowers were the old woman's favorite. But if he said so, the girl would catch on and run away. "Fine, fine," rasped the wolf. "Go and pick my favorite flowers, but then come right back." Leaving her basket of goodies on the floor, Red Riding Hood raced out of the door, but instead of fleeing back home, she crept around the back of the cottage to an open window. "Grandma must still be inside," she thought, "and I must help her." Wow, she's being very brave. Meanwhile, the wolf eyed the basket of treats. His stomach rumbled. "I have not eaten in 3 days," he thought. "I suppose a small snack would do me well before the main course." Swiftly, the wolf devoured the treats. He was so busy munching, he never noticed the small girl in the red sweater sneak in the back window and free her grandmother from the cupboard. Wow, I bet they're hoping the wolf does not turn around. When the bread was nothing but crumbs and the soup was all gone, the wolf finally looked up. That was when he noticed the open cupboard and window. "Wicked child!" he cried. "She escaped and took the old woman too! But I shall show them both what comes of trying to outsmart a wolf." The wolf sprang from the cottage. Now he was ravenous, not with hunger, but with rage, which means he was extremely angry. But so focused was he in his pursuit that he didn't pay attention to where he ran. He slipped on the slick stones by the river and tumbled down into the rushing water, never to be seen again.
Why did he?
Well, he was chasing them and he wasn't paying attention and he slipped into the river. Back in the village, Red Riding Hood told her mother the whole story. "Thank goodness you're both safe," her mother exclaimed. "But how did you outsmart that nasty wolf?" "He couldn't tell me Grandma's favorite flowers." Red Riding Hood pressed a fresh bouquet of daisies into her grandmother's hand, "and I insisted I needed to pick some." "My darling girl," said Red Riding Hood's grandmother, "now I see that your beautiful red sweater matches not only the brightness of your heart, but the bravery within as well." And that is the end.